Hello everybody, my name is Matthew Heimer,
Jonathan Boyman.
and today we're going to be talking about predictions for E3. These are just going to be predictions. They may or may not necessarily happen. It's just our personal opinions. We're going to be talking about we're just going to go down the list, starting with what's going on tonight with Bethesda, and then finished up with the mystery of what's going to happen with the PC gaming, because we were talking about that earlier. Right, but yeah, anyway, so let's go ahead and get started with Bethesda. What do you think they're going to be talking about tonight?
100% Fallout 4. They're going to be talking about. They just announced the game, and there's a trailer. People have dissected it. I think people have even already got a rough idea of what the map size is for Fallout 4. So people are excited. It was huge. So they're definitely going to show off. I think they're going to show off a good sized gameplay segment for Fallout 4 at this E3 conference. That's for sure that I know they're going to talk about. What about you? What do you think for sure?
I definitely think that they're going to be doing Fallout 4, no doubt. I think that's going to be the only thing that they're going to be talking about, just in terms of what they're releasing. Just because, Fallout 4 is... Fallout 3 was a huge deal. New Vegas was a huge deal. Fallout 4 was definitely an anticipated game, and they want to just kind of increase the hype for that game.
Yeah, I also think in terms of products or IPs that we don't know are going to be at E3, I have a feeling that they're probably going to announce Dishonored 2. That game came out in 2012.
Or the first one came out in 2012?
Yes, it did. The first Dishonored came out in 2012. It was developed by Arcane Studios, but it was published by Bethesda, so Bethesda owns the IP, and I have a feeling we'll probably see it at this E3 announcement. I think there might already be a leak, but we don't know if that's true or not, so... but even if there wasn't a leak, I would still say there's a good chance. It came out in 2012. It was my personal favorite for 2012. Stealth, rich world. It's just I loved it a lot.
It was a unique game to say. The gameplay style was very similar to Assassin's Creed games.
I think Thief was the biggest inspiration for it.
Thief, right? Yes, Thief was the biggest inspiration for sure. But it was. It went into a unique direction, and it's a beautiful game, and I would like to see a sequel to that, for sure.
So that's going to be happening at 9 p.m. Central here tonight. So for all you people watching here in the good old state of Texas.
Right.
I wonder does everyone know we're in Texas? Yeah, we're a bunch of Texans.
Yeah, we are definitely, I actually got an email, even though we have so few viewers, I'm sure, I actually got a Facebook message from a fan, believe it or not, but, yeah, no, we're Texas bound. We're at the central.
We're
Central time zone. So 9 p.m. Central.
Yep, it's gonna be happening in what is it, almost 3 hours?
Yeah, so hopefully we can get this video out by then. But
next one.
Oh yeah.
You want to keep on going with Bethesda?
No. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. The next one, Microsoft. I think that they're going to be going into extensive lengths talking about Halo 5.
Yeah.
They've been slowly releasing more and more about it, and Halo 4 for me was a bit disappointing, and seeing what I've seen so far, Halo 5 looks really good.
I really hope so. And I know there was also trouble with the Master Chief Collection launch just recently, which is, I have a lot of faith in 343 Studios. They seem like not only are they just excellent developers, but they're also adamant fans. So I don't think there's a better studio in the world that could be handling the next Halo products as well.
Yeah.
I know there's a little bit of concern because of some fan reactions to Halo 4 and the launch of Master Chief Collection, but I think they've gone on record to say from now on they're never going to release a product, especially a Halo 1, without a beta. So I definitely expect I'm almost certain you're going to see a beta right after E3. That's one of my big predictions for Microsoft.
And then
I know there's going to be Rise of the Tomb Raider. They're going to talk about that a lot. They're going to talk a lot about Forza 6. The thing about Microsoft is I love them to death, and I really appreciate that they're really starting to focus more on the core gamer. That's something you didn't see before when they were focusing a lot on entertainment and Connect. So it's really impressive that they've really done a 180 and start focusing more on the core gamer. I love them to death that they've announced so many games that they're going to talk about. It makes them stand really tall against the competition in terms of people that want to see the conference. They have probably the most announced games, and that's the thing that is... It's almost like their best trait, but also, in my opinion, I guess their biggest weakness, because now I'm almost I don't even know if there's going to be too many surprises at Microsoft show because we almost already know what's going to be there, which is a good show, but I really want to see how many surprises there are.
Yes. So we do have. What was the one surprise that you'd like to mention?
I think there is a chance. Microsoft owns Rare Studio, and Rare for the past several years has been mostly devoted to Kinect and that peripheral, and developing the software for it. So, but as everyone knows, they were a powerhouse of AAA games in the 90s. So they definitely have a lot of weight to their name, and a lot of people have been crying out for a new game from Rare, a traditional platformer game from Rare, or a shooter. I think they also did Perfect Dark Zero, or I'm probably butchering the name, but they've done a lot of impressive games. So a lot of people are just saying like, we would like a impressive game again and not some Kinect software. So I have a feeling that they're gonna reboot one of their classic franchises, and most likely I would say it's probably Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie. Sorry. I think that's most likely.
Yeah, because I mean, Banjo-Kazooie had at the time it had a fair amount of hype. I wouldn't say it was equal to Mario in the 90s, but it was. It was right up there with him. I mean,
it was on Nintendo at the time.
Right.
It was. It's one of those things that helped Nintendo solidify itself in home console gaming.
And a reboot, for a Banjo reboot, would be, I think, add a lot of a younger demographic to Microsoft, because I think a lot of the stuff that Microsoft produces there's a lot of content is kind of towards like teenagers and young adults, whereas a Banjo reboot would pull at the heartstrings of us older gamers, and at the same time open up a new opportunity for younger age gamers.
Yeah. So that's our crazy off the wall prediction for Microsoft.
Right.
And that will be happening at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow June 15th.
Right. So we'll go ahead and move on to EA. EA's got a lot of interesting stuff. I know they're going to be talking about their Star Wars Battlefront 3, which has been one of my personal most anticipated games ever, because I was tragically destroyed. I was very destroyed when Pandemic went out of business in 2008, I think it was.
Yeah, that was a shame. Yeah.
Because they also released Destroy All Humans, which was a very fun game. One of my favorites anyway, growing up. But yeah, back to EA. Definitely going to be talking about Star Wars Battlefront 3, going in more depth, because there's not a lot on it other than the promo that was released a few months ago, and then the discussion in E3. What was it, 2012 you said? Or
well, I think it was 2014 is when they announced Star Wars Battlefront, and
2014,
and that was when they said, hey, it's going to be DICE, the people that make Battlefield, they're going to be making a Battlefront game. And I think that's when people started getting excited, not only that a beloved franchise that, like you just said, is really close to you and us as young gamers. Not only is that coming back, but it's being done by a really professional studio.
Yes.
So this is really exciting news, and we've only seen, I think, like a trailer that was kind of like launched with the new trailer for Star Wars Episode 7. So I think this is, a lot of people are kind of saying this is one of the years of Star Wars. You know, there's a new Star Wars film coming out after who knows how long.
It's going to be sometime in December, I think, is when it's going to be released, the new film.
Yeah, and it's not like a prequel. Like, everyone hates prequels. Oh, I guess we shouldn't get into that.
Yeah, we'll just.
But there's also going to be Star Wars Battlefront. So this is a big year for Star Wars, and I think EA is very smart on capitalizing on that. They've played their cards right and waited till the right time to get the right studio to publish it here this year.
Out of all the studios developing the Battlefront game, I think DICE is a very effective one.
Yeah.
Even though I think the Battlefield is kind of starting, the Battlefield games are starting to age a little bit. The multiplayer is one of my favorites for first-person shooters. It's very unique, diverse, large. I mean, a lot of those maps are very huge in scale, and I think that Star Wars Battlefront could benefit from the same sort of finesse in a way.
And I'm almost sure we're gonna, because we've only seen trailers, I'm almost certain we're gonna finally get to see some gameplay. We're actually gonna get to see some actual matches.
Yes, which would be great.
Do you have any other things for EA? Because I think mostly what they've announced so far is like, hey, we're going to have some surprises, but the announced games are like pretty much Star Wars Battlefront, and then a bunch of sports games.
Yeah,
And so I was like, well, it's kind of sad, even though I'm excited for Battlefront, but it's hopefully there's going to be some significant surprises. What do you think?
yeah, I don't know exactly what to think. I would like to see EA announce a game that is in the Mass Effect universe. It doesn't necessarily have to follow the Mass Effect story, because we all know how that tragic ending happened. So I don't know if they could successfully produce a Mass Effect 4. But that universe was just so in-depth, diverse. I just would hate to see it end with Mass Effect 3. Not saying that Mass Effect ended badly. I know there's a lot of controversy with that, but just the universe as a whole, I would like to see how that ends. Like maybe do something with, well, yeah, just there's a lot that they could do with it and take it in a lot of different directions. I would just, again, hate to see it end, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess we can move on to Ubisoft.
Oh, I think one last thing.
Oh, yeah.
One last prediction for EA is and we were just talking about Star Wars. I think there's a chance that we might get to see a new Star Wars IP game, a new IP in the Star Wars franchise that's being developed by Visceral Games. Now, Visceral is a dear studio to me. I really appreciate them. They made the Dead Space franchise for the past generation. It's one of my favorite sci-fi franchises in video games. I'm a big fan of that studio. And Amy Hemming is one of my favorite writers as well. She was working on the Uncharted franchise and Naughty Dog, and now she's left Naughty Dog for, I'm not sure why, but she's no longer with Naughty Dog, and she's actually found a home at Visceral Studios, and so now she's pinning the new Star Wars game. And the studio has been kind of talking a little bit. They're making a little bit of noise, so it leads me to believe, I think, especially considering, the new Star Wars film coming out this year, Battlefront, coming out either sometime this year or early next year. There's a lot of Star Wars news going on. I'm almost very certain that we're going to see a new Star Wars game being done by Visceral that's going to be announced at the C3.
Yes, that would be... Because I love Star Wars games. I think there was the only Star Wars game that I can think of that I didn't particularly like was this game, Star Wars Starfighters, by LucasArts. And essentially it was, I don't know if you've heard of this game or not, but it was this, you were essentially a Naboo, again I hate Naboo starfighter.
Yeah.
That was taking place during the Clone Wars time. You weren't a part of the Clone Wars or anything like that. It was just like and it wasn't a bad game. I'm just not one of those
flight simulator.
Yeah, it was almost like a flight simulator, air combat, dogfighting kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it wasn't a bad game either. It was, yeah, just Star Wars games are great. Like I can't get enough of them.
So that's EA. That's going to be EA. They're going to be taking place at 3 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, that's going to be June 15th. Mm-hmm. Yep. So look forward to that tomorrow.
All right, and now we're going to go into talk about Ubisoft, which is going to be 5 p.m. tomorrow, just right after EA. And so, what do you think is going to be talked about?
Assassin's Creed. I think that's their big franchise.
Yes.
EA, their big franchise that they like to annualize. Activision is Call of Duty. EA is Battlefield. In fact, the only thing is, I don't think we're going to see a new Battlefield this year because DICE, I think, is going to be, going between Battlefield and Battlefront to kind of change up the pacing a little bit.
And they just released Hardline not too long ago. So I mean, there's still a new Battlefield game going on.
So, but for Ubisoft, their game that they are going to be annualizing is Assassin's Creed. So they're going to be talking a lot about that. The Victorian era Syndicate, I believe, is what it's called.
Okay.
So that's for Assassin's Creed fan. That's going to be big news. We're going to probably see an extended gameplay demo. Who knows what kind of new features they'll have in this iteration? Will it be that much different? Will it be more the same? It'll be interesting to see how they play the cards with this one. I'm almost certain we'll also see more of the Division. That was supposed to come out because that was released in 2013, and then it was supposed to come out in 2014, and then it was supposed to come out in 2015, and now I don't think it's coming out until I think early 2016. So hopefully we'll get an update on that, our last update, maybe hopefully even a release date. I'm looking forward to Division a lot. Rainbow Six Siege, we're probably going to see a new update on that, and yeah. So those are the heavy hitters that I'm almost certain are probably going to be there. What do you think?
One thing that I am hoping for, I'm not necessarily thinking that they'll talk about this, but I remember that Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon had a surprising amount of hype, and I would like them to do a very similar thing with the most recent Far Cry 4 and do like a Far Cry Blood Dragon 2. I mean, it was just a perfect little arcade game or a DLC kind of thing, and it was just a lovely thing, and I would love to see more of something like that. But
speaking of like, what's that? The Blood Dragon. Have you heard of Kung Fury?
yes, I have heard of
Okay.
Kung Fury. Yeah, I saw there's like a little David Hasselhoff like music video or something like that on YouTube. Yeah, it's gonna be like a little 30-minute special.
It already came out. Yeah.
It's already out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've watched it. It's freaking amazing. If
Oh,
y'all
okay.
haven't seen it, watch Kung Fury. It's basically Blood Dragon, the 30-minute film, and it's glorious.
Okay, great.
Um,
Maybe we'll leave a link in the description below or something like that.
got you covered.
All right. And is there anything else?
I think one of the a special announcement, hopefully that I'm hoping of, is a kind of a new Prince of Persia game from Ubisoft to announce before they close the press conference. Ubisoft's been doing this thing. It's almost like they've since I think it was 2012 when they announced Watch Dogs. That I think it's almost like Ubisoft's kind of like trademark now to have that special announcement at the end of their conference, like, and here's this one more game, and then it's like this crazy game. It was Watch Dogs in 2012, The Division in 2013, then Rainbow Six Siege in 2014, and this year. So now it's almost like not a surprise that they're going to have a surprise at the end of their conference.
Right.
But I hope that surprise is going to be Prince of Persia. I am a huge fan of the Prince of Persia, especially the Sands of Time trilogy. It's a franchise that's near and dear to me, my childhood. So if the Forgotten Sands came out not too long ago, and I wasn't too impressed with it, unfortunately. But I've been hearing rumors about a new Prince of Persia game, so I don't know if that's just like a game that they were working on and maybe canceled, or if there's leaks that are potentially leading to a reveal at Ubisoft's E3 2015 conference. If it's not Prince of Persia, most likely another Splinter Cell game or a new IP. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know, I'm sure. I'm thinking it might be a new IP just because. Or I hadn't really thought this one through, but because for one, I always like seeing new IPs. I think it's important to try new things instead of just exhaust favorite games.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So maybe they'll do a new IP. I don't really know what to expect. The only games that I really enjoy from Ubisoft personally are the Far Cry series and a little bit of the Assassin's Creed. I mean, I did play the first Prince of Persia in 2002. I think the very first one that
And you didn't fall in love with it?
No, I didn't, because I ended up renting that game at Blockbuster, believe it or not. So I only played it for a week, and I got really frustrated with the puzzles. And I think if I were to go back and play it now, I would enjoy it more or appreciate it more. But
Your friendship's on the line, Matt.
oh,
I'm just joking out.
Okay, moving on to Sony.
So this is going to be taking place at 8 o'clock on June 15th. This is going to be the last conference of
Central.
Monday. Central Time. Central Time, 8 o'clock. Last conference of June 15th. And it will be interesting to see what happens, because Sony, I think that, the two big competitors in the room, I think, are definitely Sony and Microsoft. They're the ones that have the fresh consoles on the market, the PS4 and Xbox One. So they're the ones that kind of, not like they hate each other and have bad blood, but they're the ones that are, their biggest competitors. So
Yes.
Microsoft's got a lot of games that they've already announced, which kind of leads a lot of fans to believe that, what if Microsoft has a better showing than Sony? Which is, it could be a thing that happens. I think I'm a Sony fan, but I would say that I think they've had a more impressive conference game-wise than Sony for the past couple of years, and I'm not ashamed to admit that they've had some good lineups. They've gotten some third-party deals. I'm really impressed with what Microsoft's doing lately, and Sony has actually even gone on record to say that their exclusive lineup for 2015 is sparse. So that, it is, and so I think 2016 is going to be a much better year, but in terms of 2015, I don't know if we're going to see much in the way, besides like the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, that's going to really be system sellers this holiday season, whereas Microsoft's got a I think they've got Rise of Tomb Raider, unless that one slips into 2016, which I'm going to go on record and say it's probably going to slip into 2016. I'm almost certain it's going to slip into 2016.
Yeah.
That's just me, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, it probably will. So it'll be interesting to see what Sony does this year. I'm hoping that what's happening is that there's just not that many games announced, so that there's going to be more surprises, more games that we didn't see coming, as compared to Microsoft's. We already know what's going to happen, and there's going to be fewer surprises. Hopefully it's going to be vice versa for Sony, but I could be completely wrong, and it could be an hour and a half of talking about
Uncharted,
which I love Uncharted, but
yeah,
I mean, disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, because especially with the Microsoft lineup, and
it's nice.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm very excited. Like, I haven't bought the newest generation of consoles yet. I'm still kind of on the fence. I mean, personally, it boils down to how well Halo 5 is going to do.
I see.
Because it's either I'm going to get that game or I'm going to get the PlayStation 4 at this point. But it's so Sony has never really disappointed me in the past. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Every person on this list has done something that has done something or another that's been disappointing.
Yeah.
I take that back. Bethesda generally has some. At the very least, all their games are very expansive, and there's a lot to do in them.
Yeah,
They're all very good, entertaining, detailed story. But yeah, but Sony has done their fans proud throughout the years, and I think that they will still continue to do that this year, and surprise them, have a few tricks up their sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, I have no idea what to expect, and I'm excited and nervous, and it's just gonna be great. It's gonna be. I feel like this E3 is gonna be one of the best in a long time for sure.
Yeah, I really hope so, because I know for Sony we can expect Uncharted 4. We're going to see an extensive gameplay look at Uncharted 4, maybe even multiplayer as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm a huge Uncharted fan, so I can't wait to see more of Uncharted 4. So a lot of people say like Halo's the big game they're looking forward to. And for me, it's Uncharted and No Man's Sky. I hope we see a lot more of No Man's Sky, and hopefully it'll get a release date. And cross our fingers. Hopefully, it will actually release this year and be a game that actually fills in the fall 2015 gap that Sony has right now. So we're also going to see probably Gran Turismo 7 most likely. And then I know there's also been a rumor of Guerrilla Games' new game, Horizon. It's an open world RPG with robotic dinosaurs, which makes me want to cry in joy. I'm excited.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that game. We talked about it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. It's I would say that would be my crazy rumor that'd be my crazy prediction that I'm not sure is going to happen, that I'm hoping will happen. But I think recently there's been a lot of buzz in the Guerrilla Games studio, kind of registering domains for HorizonGame.com and stuff like that, hiring people that actually worked on the Witcher franchise to come in. I'm almost certain we're going to get an announcement at this point. It's not to say that I'm not going to be surprised. I'm still going to be surprised to see it because I don't know what it looks like, but I'm almost certain it's going to happen at this point. Just like it's like it wouldn't be a surprise prediction to say like, I wonder if Gears of War is going to be at the Microsoft press conference. It's going to happen. You know, Gears of War is going to be at the Microsoft press conference, and I think this game is going to be too. So yeah, those are games we can look forward to for sure at the Sony press conference. But in terms of the ones we don't know what Media Molecule's doing. We don't know what Sucker Punch is doing. I mean, they just released Infamous, but they could have a new game that they're ready to at least tease, perhaps. We don't know what Quantic Dream's doing. We don't know what Sony Ben's doing. Yeah, there's so many first-party studios that Sony owns that we don't know what they're doing that I'm hoping we'll kind of start seeing at this E3. And that could be the thing that makes Sony's press conference maybe even more impressive than Microsoft's, their biggest competitor. Or it could be something that we don't see of this year that leads to a big hole in their conference as well. I think the one big surprise that I hope will be there is a game that's probably not going to be there, but I'm a huge Team Ico fan. Ico and Shadow of the Colossus are two of my favorite games of all time, so I really hope we see The Last Guardian. It is almost like saying like I hope we see Half-Life 3, unfortunately, but I really hope we do. And I'm But I'm gonna put my gamer card on the line and say, Last Guardian. Not announcement, not like a release date, but I think it's gonna resurface in some form. At least a teaser. I think we're gonna at least get some kind of official confirmation besides someone saying that they're still working. I think we're gonna actually not hear someone say it, but I think we're gonna actually see something a little bit, even if it's just a little tease.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would very much like to see what we see at the Last Guardian. Yeah, I would very much like to see something be talked about that. I borrowed my roommate's Shadow of the Colossus game, and I played a little bit of it, and I haven't finished it, so I know, worst gamer ever right here. But I liked it enough to where I would continue to play it if I was still roommates with this person. If I was still rooming with this person, but since I'm not, I can't really do anything about it. Anyway, I would like to see more of that kind of style of game. Yeah, I don't have a lot of knowledge on Sony to properly give an opinion or to understand what to expect from Sony. I just know that they've released a lot of good exclusives in the past, and I'm sure that they'll have one up their sleeve that will be very good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and move on to Nintendo, which is going to be on 11 a.m. June 16th Central Time.
Texas.
Right. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
And I mean, Nintendo has been doing some weird stuff. They've done a lot of good recently, but they've also done a lot of bad. Because I know, not as recently, because I know that they just recently brought out the new Mario Party 10 for the Wii U, which I don't know a lot about it, but I would assume that it's just like any other Wii U game experience. They released a lot of their, like, I guess their flagship games this year, just for the Wii U. Like Super Smash Brothers came out this year, right? Or at the very end of last year.
I can't remember. It wasn't too long ago though. They did just recently release Smash Bros. I bet you it was for fall 2014. I'll bet you, but I can't remember.
Yeah, and then they just released their latest Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, that came out pretty recently as well. Probably, I think a little bit after Smash Bros.
Yeah.
And again, not on the record. Like I feel bad. I don't know when these games released.
Yeah,
but it was recent.
Yeah, and those are kind of their flagships, which are generally very good.
They're classics.
But they've also I know they released what was it? It was Yoshi something for the 3DS that came out.
Like Yoshi's New Island or something?
No, Yoshi's New Island. I can't remember the name, but I know that didn't have a lot of critical acclaim to it, and that was kind of disappointing. Like they were abusing animal abuse on poor Yoshi. No, but yeah, they've just been releasing a lot of their games so that the Wii U is a little more
viable. Like, and that's a sad thing because, like, and I feel bad when I say this, but they are not a strong competitor right now in terms of the big three. Like, it used to be back. I started watching E3 back in 2008. And back then, it was the big three. It was the big three: the Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. They were the ones going head to head, and then there was also two side shows, which was EA and Ubisoft. And this year, there's like 8. There's 8 conferences. So this is, I have no idea. So, for a while, it was those 3 big companies going head to head. Those big publishers: Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and then after the Wii U launched, it just didn't do well. It launched prematurely. Well, not prematurely. Actually, I'll put it this way. I think it came a little too late, unfortunately. And I'm not saying it's a bad console. It's just it's stuck somewhere between the PS3 and Xbox 360 and the PS4 and Xbox One. It's stuck somewhere in between.
Yeah,
it just didn't find its market. So it can't really compete with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. The third parties aren't supporting it. It's Nintendo holding it up right now, and so that's why you see a lot of not tired franchises. They're the classics. People love them still. They are great franchises, but it's more of the same. Just proven franchises. So to guarantee that it'll at least, you know, it won't
Be held.
completely die
Right.
off. But it's not a viable contender against Microsoft and Sony right now. And they haven't been doing traditional conferences recently. They've been doing direct, Nintendo Direct kind of video streams, I think, since 2000. It's either 2012 or 2013 when they started that. Or maybe it was 2011. I can't. No, it wasn't 2011. I think it was 2013. I think. Yeah. So it's interesting. Like, I would like to see them be a little bit more competitive. I don't know if it's better for them to kind of hold their cards and wait for the new system, the NX. I don't think they're going to talk about it at the C3, but they are. And I also think they're not going to talk about Zelda. They've gone on record to say we're not going to talk about Zelda.
Because they've been doing that Netflix series. I don't. Because we talked in an older video a few months back. We talked about there being a Legend of Zelda Netflix cartoon animated series, or
yeah.
So I'm sure that Nintendo is more focused on that in terms of Zelda for sure, versus making a game out of it. But one thing on this list that I haven't seen in a while, at least, is new Metroid.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved a lot of the Metroid games, the older ones, the newer ones. I mean, it's definitely it's what appealed to the older It would definitely appeal to the older generation for a new Metroid game for sure, because it's a very gritty Nintendo game.
Yeah, it's kind of got that same nostalgia, that power of, say, like what's it called, Mario. It has, because it's from pretty close to that same time frame.
Right.
For Nintendo, the only thing is you don't see as many Metroid games as you see Mario games. Mario games are, I love them, and they are great games. Don't get me wrong, but they are at this point like a dime a dozen. You well, not to say they're worthless. They're really good games. It's just it's very saturated right now. You
see a lot of Mario.
There can't be a year that goes by that you don't see at least 2 games that have Mario somewhat in them.
Yes.
Whereas Metroid, I don't know when the last Metroid was. I think it was Other M, and that was like in 2011 or something. And a lot of people I know have been crying for not only a game that's more similar to Metroid Prime, which is a first-person shooter in the Metroid series, but a lot of people are actually still crying out for a 2D Metroid, very similar to the original Metroid.
Like the 2D platform style.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
I think if they do talk about a new Metroid game, though, I think it is going to be very similar to the Prime, the 3D kind of first-person shooter, because that's just kind of what the what our generation is seeing the most of.
yeah,
It's what we're like the most used to, I guess.
it would be interesting. Yeah, I think you are right. Just to maybe also get a little bit of that, the first-person shooter, the young male audience on board.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit more. That might be one of their strategies. But and also to keep that nostalgia power of Metroid in there as well. But it would be interesting if they did just completely
Maybe
dedicate, say, like, we are going to make a 2D Metroid that you've been wanting, the old fans of the series. That I guess they might be
similar to like a Super Mario kind of thing. I would actually like to see that. I think that they could, because they did do Super Mario a few years back, and maybe do something similar in concept with Metroid. Do have like the four people on a screen kind of thing. That would be something that I think fans could get along with if it had a multiplayer option, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like the split screen, not necessarily be a split screen, but have like the 4-player co-op
in some form or so. Like maybe not like the main campaign, but at least an option in like a bonus mode or something like that.
Well, I mean, I think there could be. I think there could be because I mean they did it with the most recent Super Mario whenever it was released. I don't remember, but I just remember it being on the Wii. Unless they did something for the Wii U that I'm not aware of. Again, I don't know a lot about Nintendo either.
They're an interesting franchise. And
yes.
I really do wish them the best. I hope they have an awesome E3. The direct video streams allow them a little bit more flexibility than they would have on a stage conference.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually able to kind of edit and plan for the show a little bit more because it's not people going on a stage, and it's not like live. It's something it's not to say that it's been done months before, but it's something that's a little bit more pre-recorded, so it's got a little bit more polish to it. So that's something to look forward to, a nice, sleek presentation from Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully some nice new games on top of games we already know about.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to Square Enix. they're going to be their discussion is going to be at 12 p.m. June 16th Central Time.
12 noon. Yeah.
And these guys have always released a lot of hype games. Final Fantasy being their flagship game, or the flagship releases. I've never heard of a Final Fantasy game being released that nobody was like, ugh, another Final Fantasy game, yuck. I mean, they generally always have good hype.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of what people might say after they release, like, it's one of those franchises that as soon as, and even when it is announced, people will probably just be like, oh, it's another Final Fantasy game. But regardless, I think even those people, I think most people, when they even hear the word of like it's a new Final Fantasy game coming out, first of all, it's going to take a long time for it to come out, and second of all, everyone's going to get excited. Even if they're like critical or cynical, they're still going to get excited. It's got it's like Mario. It's like one of those strong franchises that have lasted time, or stood the test of time.
Throughout the years, it's held its own, because I don't want to say it's like the longest running gaming series, but I mean it's definitely one of them.
It's been around for a while. It's and again, like when we say stand the test of time, this doesn't mean it's like the best game of all time. You know, it's just something that, you know, a lot of people really get excited about. And if they didn't get excited about it, it wouldn't be like how many, at least 15, and then there's probably, I don't know how many spin-off series for Final Fantasy. So there's at least 20 games probably in the series. That means people like people pretty much like the game.
Yeah.
So
If they're still making new games, people are still wanting to buy it. So, but one thing I really, really want to see is Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 was it was definitely in my top 5 favorite games to play on the PlayStation 2. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I mean, I thought it did justice to the Disney aspect. I thought it did justice to the Final Fantasy aspect, and the blend with those two universes added really well. And it just the fact that they haven't released one in such a long time is quite tragic, to say the least. I mean, we didn't even get one in the previous generation of consoles, and I know they've talked about Final Fantasy 3 in the past, and I'm sure that it's definitely in development. But I would like to see a little more, maybe see some gameplay of Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm not saying that there will be. I will definitely put my gamer card on the line and say that they're definitely going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts and what we can expect, for sure.
Okay, so his gamer card's on Kingdom Hearts 3, mine's on The Last Guardian. We'll see who stands at the end of E3.
And it's my understanding that is it true that they were talking about having it being released for the Xbox as well as PlayStation, or?
Most likely it is going to be multi-platform. However, I do believe that Sony's probably going to have a special deal with Square Enix on this one, just like Microsoft's got a special deal with Tomb Raider for the Xbox One at the moment. It's not, Tomb Raider is eventually going to come to the PlayStation 4, and so is, Kingdom Hearts 3 is either going to release simultaneously with the PS4 on Xbox One, or it's going to come out a little bit later. But the architecture is so similar that a lot of developers just they say we might as well just to get the most profit. There's a lot of series like Final Fantasy used to be multi-platform. That's now Final Fantasy used to be a Sony exclusive, and then that's multi-platform. So did Metal Gear Solid. So did a whole lot of games that it just there's more money to be made when you go multi-platform. And so that's I'm almost sure you'll probably see for the Xbox One, but at least I'm almost certain that you'll also see exclusive content or exclusive partnerships with Sony as well, because that's kind of where it was.
That's where it all started, yeah. Because I know Kingdom Hearts and King 1 and 2 were both on Sony exclusives. And that's pretty much all I have for Square Enix. Should we go into the mystery? All right, so the next one that we are both kind of confused about is going to be the PC gaming discussion, which is going to be at 7 p.m. June 16th Central Time. And I honestly don't know what to expect. I mean, they could be talking about the Steam Machine more. It could be Valve running the show for this, which I would like to see Valve running the show. I mean, or at least having a say in this discussion.
Yeah. yeah, you never know. Valve could be there and say like, hey, here's the new Counter-Strike, or here's Left 4 Dead 3, because those are games that they do release on consoles, but they're also they're very PC based. They're
Yes.
they kind of their first home is PC,
Right.
And I think that's where you might those that's as far as like predictions like off the wall that you might see for PC gaming. That's as far as I can go. Like, and the reason why is like there's a lot of these multi-platform games that we talked about in the Microsoft, Sony, EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda. I mean, I think Bethesda's probably gonna have a big presence at the PC gaming show. You know, their first home is PC first and foremost, and then consoles. I mean, we know those are going to be at the PC show, but then again, but then they already have their own conference, so why would they be at the PC? I don't know what is going to be at the PC
Yeah,
show.
I mean,
because I can't think of any games like, oh, that's a big PC exclusive besides, I don't know, like maybe StarCraft, and you know those, you know, the RTS games like Age of Empires, and even some of those they might even be on consoles too. I don't know. I'm not a big real-time strategy fan. Not to say
Right.
that bad games are just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I like real-time strategy games a lot. StarCraft is a really fun game. StarCraft 2, I enjoy both of them. I'm not anywhere near like that competitive like what they've got going on in Korea, I think is what it is, where they've got like some people hire coaches for StarCraft 2. I'm not anywhere near at that level, but I enjoy real-time strategies for sure. And I mean, if they talk about real-time strategies during this, then great. But again, I honestly don't feel comfortable giving a decent prediction because I just don't know. We just don't know what to expect because it just said PC gaming 7 p.m. Central Time. I mean, it could go a lot of ways. I mean, I think it's going to be one of the longest ones because it's starting at a different time.
No, I'll actually go on a limb and say it'll be one of the shorter ones.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I feel like that this PC gaming might give some like indie developers chance to talk about new releases.
it's true, but I don't think they'll spend a lot of time on that though.
Right. I think because if they would have indie gamers, I think it would be like forgive me, I don't know all these independent companies by name, but like I think that maybe the company that did Five Nights at Freddy's might have something, or the guy that did Five Nights at Freddy's might have something to say about
Cloth, well, something like that. Yeah,
he might talk about a new release or Five Nights at Freddy 4.
I think there is a new Five Nights at Freddy's. It's just I wonder. I mean, it's an internet sensation. I just wonder if that's enough for him to land a spot at like an E3 stage. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and that's true. But it's something that I would like to see, though, is him talking about a new game that he's working on or something like that.
Yeah. It was not too far-fetched because that is one game that I would say is like a big game right now that everyone's talking about, and it is only on PC, so that is something to consider.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also like to see Mojang, however you want to pronounce it, talk about something that they're working on, because I know that they're not just working on Minecraft anymore. I know they've got 2 other games. I can't remember.
Mojang's owned by Microsoft though now.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
It's just Notch isn't with Mojang
Right.
anymore. He's doing his own thing because Notch is Notch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe Notch talk about Minecraft too. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but talk about what he's doing with his most recent projects, because I've always liked his stuff. Yeah, again, PC gaming, that conference, I have no idea what to expect. I mean, the ball's in the air at this point. Like,
I do think what we're going to see is probably like AMD and NVIDIA just kind of going up there, maybe announcing new technologies, like new software packages that they have, or some new APIs, something, you know, just to say like, hey, we have this new system, you know, almost like Mantle or Vulkan or something similar to DirectX 12 or something like that. Like, hey, we have this new software package that is going to get the most out of your PC, or we have this new software package that's going to make this, that, and the other. And I'm just going to go on a limb and say, during the PC conference, my wild prediction for them is going to be that there has to be at least one jab of PCs being better than consoles. I'm almost sure someone's going to get on stage and be like, and you know you can't find or like and we're not restricted like those machines or those. I'm almost like
Yeah,
it's just
like,
gonna be funny to. I that's just my random prediction. That's the only thing I could think of.
yeah, as somebody taking a jab at console gaming. Yeah, I could see that happening too. But yeah, I mean, for all we know, they could be producing a game that's going to steal our souls. And I'm joking, but
It could be Half-Life 3.
don't say that. No, I mean, who's the lead developer for the Half-Life?
Valve.
Not right, yeah, but who's like? Is
Or
it
Gabe Newell?
Gabe Newell, yes, Gabe Newell.
Yeah. Just comes out.
He's just like, I can imagine Gabe Newell coming out on the stage with Half-Life 3 T-shirt, but not like they talk about it or acknowledge it at all. I could see that happening. So
Yeah. that'd
like
be
here we go about
amazing.
talking about like
And we're talking about like
I could see him more likely talking about Portal 3 than Half-Life 3.
I wouldn't be opposed because I love Portal.
Yeah, no.
I would still do a backflip and cry happy tears.
Yeah, I mean, I would still be. I would look forward to a new Left 4 Dead for sure. I would. Almost every single game that Valve releases, I like.
They're good.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a nice, unique gaming experience that. I mean, yeah, they have competitors, but it's the games that they develop are just unique in their own way, to the point that their competitors don't have like the exact similar like flavor to it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, it's almost like
Let me like an example. The Left 4 Dead series. There is other zombie games out there. Some of them are a little more acclaimed. Like the Telltale adaptation of Walking Dead is a very good zombie survival game. But there's just not another game. Left 4 Dead 2 and Left 4 Dead were very competitive to a way. Like it got very competitive very quickly. I know that I had some friends back in my hometown where they would go to like Left 4 Dead competitions, survival mode competitions and versus competitions and stuff like that. So I mean they just have, and then I know there's Counter-Strike competitions, and I know that Portal 2 have a feature where you can like develop levels and stuff.
I think it's got a software suite. Like you can make your own test chambers. I think for PC. I think.
Yeah, I think it's like a PC thing, but so it has a very good community backup for them, and I look forward to seeing whatever Valve comes out with, no matter what.
The only thing is I don't know if Valve's going to be there. I can't remember if Gabe Newell went on record and said that Valve's not going to be at this year's E3, or if he just said that Half-Life 3 is not going to be at this E3. So all this stuff that we talked about at Valve,
Probably won't happen.
take it with a
Grain of salt.
spoon of salt.
But yeah, that's pretty much all we've got for us. Again, we're not in contact with any of these developers, so we have no idea what to expect. We could be 100% wrong.
Our sources could be wrong. Not just
Sources could be wrong. Okay, as long as they talk about Kingdom Hearts 3, then I'm happy. Like,
So you want to end it with which conference you're most excited for and which game you're most excited for?
yeah, the game I'm most excited for that is definitely going to be talked about is going to be Fallout 4. Real recently, I mean, since we've talked about Fallout, I have gotten in depth with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and I've loved those games immensely. And not necessarily more than Skyrim, David, but it's definitely something that is gonna just blow everybody away. Yeah, everybody's kind of giving them a hard time about graphics and stuff. But if you're looking forward to a new game because graphics are good, then I gotta take away your gaming card, because it should be about the mechanics and not. I mean, the graphics are a nice plus. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's the cherry on top, icing on the cake. But it
still looks impressive.
Yeah,
Like,
it still
nice.
looks good.
It doesn't look like garbage.
Right, but as long as I could see what I'm doing, see my enemies, see what I'm gonna be, all the loot I'm gonna be digging through, then it's gonna be fine. And as long as the game mechanics live up to New Vegas Fallout 3, then it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really good game. All right, what was yours?
Oh, and just a last note on Fallout 4, like, a lot of people might consider, like, complain about the graphics. I think they're actually very impressive, but what I'm most impressed about is actually the color palette, the art direction. It looks, because, like, Fallout 3 in Vegas, like, is just kind of like green and brown, like really dull, which it goes with the style of post-apocalyptic, and
right.
It's not out of place. So yeah, I'm not criticizing by any means, but what I was really impressed when I saw the trailer for Fallout 4, and it was like, because like the past games, I think it was like, I haven't played them yet. I'm trying to play through Fallout 3 right now, so like it's mostly like gray skies and like really dreary, and this one was like open skies and beautiful and blue and like these really fresh colors and like sunset and dusk, and I was really impressed by the art direction. So I was.
New Vegas has a little bit more color, I think, than Fallout 3. Yeah, but it's still. I mean, you're in a desert the entire time, so it has that kind of like deserty feel. I mean, the sky is very clear, but it's also because you're in a desert and there's never like any rain or anything like that. But yeah, the color palette was nice. I would like to see with Fallout some more like gameplay settings, because I know in New Vegas they have this I can't remember what it's called, but it's like super duper hard mode. I can't remember what it's called, and I'm gonna get yelled at in the comments if we have any. But there's a setting where you basically not only have to go throughout the gameplay, but you have to maintain like sleep levels, hunger levels, and like water levels, so your character doesn't get dehydrated, starve to death, or die of sleep deprivation or something like that. And I very much like that game mode. I can't remember what it's called, and it's killing me. But I would like to see like more details with it, I guess. Maybe like just because I mean, it's I think of it more as a I don't know where I'm going with that, so I'm just gonna move on, I suppose.
Oh, no worries.
But yeah, I would definitely like to see it go and like give us more gameplay options to like turn on the thirst meter and or turn off radioactivity or something like that. Like make it just a little more detailed in that sense. But I mean, I'm still gonna get the game no matter what. I'm not.
You got $60 right here, Bethesda. Don't blow it. But my conference that I'm most excited for is definitely Sony. And not just because I'm a big PlayStation fan, but even if I wasn't, I'd be most intrigued by theirs, because I think theirs, more than any other conference, is the one that besides the besides the PC one, which I have no idea. Besides the PC one, theirs is the conference that
is the most like mysterious.
Mysterious, yeah. And then I'm like, it has the most possibilities to be successful, but it also has the most possibilities to be underwhelming. So it could either be great, it could either be okay, it could be terrible. I guess I'm just excited to see. And then the fact that I'm a fan also adds that extra level of like tension of the great's going to be even more great, the terrible's going to be even more disappointing. So it'll just be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, definitely.
The game that is already announced, I'm looking forward to most. That's going to be the conferences in Uncharted 4. I'm a huge fan. I would love to see more of the gameplay, new features, maybe even a little bit of tease of multiplayer and what we're going to see in that, any new additions. But mostly, I would like to see more of the narrative. Not like spoilers, but like I just want to see a little bit more of Uncharted 4. But in terms of games that haven't been released, I really hope The Last Guardian's there. I really, really love Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, and I would cry. I think I would legitimately cry if I saw The Last Guardian emerge again at this.
Like the single tear, or just sobbing of uncontrolled joy kind of thing.
If I could switch a button to do the uncontrolled joy,
then
I would do that. It might just be a single tear because I don't know if I can control my body that well.
All right.
But if that one doesn't get announced, then Horizon, because I know that one is going to be announced. So
Yes.
that, in terms of the games we don't know about but kind of know about,
Mhm.
Horizon is second to The Last Guardian, if The Last Guardian is not announced, which it probably isn't, but I'm hoping it is. So those are the games I'm looking forward to. And
Yeah, I mean, going back to, I guess, conferences, I'm definitely I'm looking forward to EA's. I mean, yes, they're an evil publishing company. They're very.
yeah.
You have to like look. You have to look at all the crimes against nature that they've done. But
They've
then
done crimes against nature.
crimes against gaming nature. How about that?
Okay. I was like, did they chop down forests?
No, but
Okay, I was
they've done some pretty bad things. Regardless, EA does produce good games, and
or at least publish them. They've done some good developers.
they've got some. They publish good games. My fingers are crossed for a Mass Effect
We might
release. Something about Mass Effect, but also something about Kingdom Hearts is right there as well. I don't know. I just have again, and I mentioned this earlier. I have a really good feeling about this E3. I think that we're going to be pleased with a lot of things that they're going to be discussing, and it's going to turn out great. I'm thrilled with what they've already kind of thrown our way,
And then there's more to come. It's about to begin in a couple hours.
yeah.
And
So hopefully you all will get to see this video. If not, then you'll definitely get our detailed descriptions for stuff that's going on tomorrow and Tuesday. But yeah, until then, thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you for
right after E3, we'll give you kind of like our reaction video.
yeah.
And we're gonna be crying and disappointed and happy and all kinds of crazy emotions. This is a great time to be a gamer. I've
Right.
been doing this since 2008, and I'm slowly trying to get my friends to be addicted to getting hyped for E3. This is the big event for gamers, so
Yes.
I always get excited. I can't help but smile because there's moments of these awesome game announcements, then there's these moments of some of the most embarrassing fails of all time on the E3 stage. Awkward stuff, crazy stuff, cool stuff.
Yeah,
really moving. It's great. It's just a roller coaster ride, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it gives a lot of publishers a chance to just sell the hell out of their games and consoles, and E3 is it's just a great moment every year for gaming history. Every year, I mean, and I think this one will be no exception, if not better. I will put my gamer card on that too. That this E3 is going to be great.
Okay. So, without further ado, we will see you after E3. High five to close it out.
Sure,
E3.
E3.